Cece, tell me if I'm wrong here. I would imagine one of the things Steve Kerr said there, that the Achilles came into complete shock, was the thing that stuck out to you the most. You've been saying for well over a month now that a severe calf strain could very much, in fact, lead to an Achilles tear, which is exactly what happened to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, this made me feel worse. This made me feel like Kevin Durant didn't have a chance. Of course he should have played. If no one told him he couldn't blow out his Achilles, the worst I can do is hurt my calf. Oh, man, I'm getting ready to play.
Of course.
I mean, everyone surrounded me. His agent, business partner, the team doctors, an outside consultant, a doctor. Like, I really feel bad for him because it's just as simple as this. He got bad advice because I tore my calf. And I know I talked to my therapist yesterday, tore my left calf. 3 weeks later, tore my right calf. And I knew every time I went onto the field, and I told him, man, if I jeopardize my career and I tear my Achilles, I'll kill you. And he said, Chris, I'm going to clean up your calf. I'm going to clean up your knee. When you go on the field, you're going to have full confidence to know you're not going to tear your Achilles. And I said, is it on the board? He said, no, not if you get everything cleaned up. And it has a lot to do with things behind the knee. It's not only the calf muscle, but you have to clean to make sure that there's no inflammation, that the Achilles is not stressed out. So I really feel bad for Kevin, because he didn't get the opportunity to make the right decision. Even though he thinks that he might have gone out there, it's nice to give him that information. It'd been nice for someone to sit down and be level set and be like, are you willing to jeopardize free agency in less than 30 days? Are you willing to jeopardize a max contract to tear your Achilles? This is not an ACL. This is a torn Achilles. Like, we have not seen players come back and be better with a torn Achilles. We've seen people with ACL come back and be better. Explosive, powerful. Yeah, you can do that. So I really feel bad for him. And this was a long time ago. And I know modern day medicine has advanced itself, but my trainer still works with some of the greatest pitchers in baseball, greatest wide receivers, athletes in the world, NBA players. He was treating people yesterday while we were watching the show and said, Chris, this is a crime right here. It's a crime that one of those doctors did not tell him, if you do not clean up the calf, the Achilles will be stressed out and he will be jeopardizing everything by going on the court. And he said, Chris, I would not let you play unless you could practice for at least a week. I prefer 2. But you need to be on the court and challenge yourself in a practice setting before you go into game action. So I feel awful that they did this and he didn't have the information, that he could have made whatever decision. And if Kevin Durant, like a lot of athletes, decide to do that, I can live with that. But, man, we need the information.
Well, that's what's baffling about this, is because Steve Kerr, who is a man I trust, a man I have enormous respect for on and off the court, he came out there, and if he'd have said, listen, this is professional sports, we're going for a championship, we did not think it was likely that Kevin Durant would tear his Achilles, but of course we know it's a possibility. We told that to Kevin. The doctors told us it was a 2 out of 100 shot. Kevin talked to his agent, talked to another doctor, and they made the decision. They're going to go out there and, we spun the wheel and got unlucky. That's one thing. But that is not what he said. What he said was, essentially what he said was, this was as shocking to us as if in that game he'd have torn his labrum, because they had nothing to do with each other. And how can that be what your medical team says? How can that be the information he gets when, again, to make the point, Chris, without ever talking to Kevin Durant, said 30 days ago, be careful, don't play. I don't think we'll see him again. Why would we not see him again? Chris, they're going for a third-straight championship. He could tear his Achilles.
The morning of the game.
The morning of the game, 33 days into it, said, I don't think he's going to play tonight. He could tear his Achilles. How can he know? And the doctors don't. 2 things came to mind. One, you mentioned risking free agency. Even if Kevin Durant had a lifetime contract, 10 years, he's risking his basketball destiny.
Yes.
He wants to become the all-time scoring champion. He wants to go down in history as one of the 5 greatest players ever. I'm not saying that's off the board.
No, but now he's a year behind.
And everything is altered now because of this. And the one other element that I couldn't help, Jenna, but think about Kawhi Leonard. And the pressure on Kawhi. The doctors are telling us this. The doctors are telling us this. And Kawhi's had some interesting comments about this, about what it's like to know how you're feeling, have other people not understand it, You now understand maybe why some of KD's teammates were whispering, why isn't he back? If they also thought, the worst that can happen to you, man, is you already have a calf strain. Who gives a damn if you have a worse calf strain? Come play. If that's what they thought, then of course he's going to go play. But how could that be the information that he receives and that he makes his decision on?
And the worst part is that he received it from the trainers and the doctors and his team and everyone around him, and they made that collective decision.
And even the thing that was more incriminating, before the game, with very, very limited, no practice time 5-on-5, playing 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, Steve Kerr said these words: there is no restriction on his minutes. And that right there is just idiotic, naive, criminal. He hadn't been spending any practice time. How can you put him on? He don't have no pitch count. He could play 40 minutes.
Right.
Well, it looked like they was getting ready to put it on his back. So, man, I mean, they messed this up. Now it's just a matter of, will they ever fess up to it?
Can I ask you real quick before we go? Do you think what Steve Kerr said right there is the honest-to-God truth? That in that organization, everyone was shell-shocked that this resulted in a torn Achilles. That nobody thought, guys, he's risking his Achilles.
I was given Bob Myers benefit of the doubt because he was a college basketball player. He might understand. But for all of them, and Kevin's independent doctor who said there's no chance of him blowing out his Achilles, I can't believe that 5 people, a couple medical, all these people Kleiman, his business partner, I expect him to be wrong.
Right. Kerr played, yeah. Myers played, the doctors.
I just don't know how they botched it. They botched it a number of ways, and the only way now is to be able to cover it up compared to saying, oh, we messed this up, because they did.
Especially when you see him out there 12 of the first 14 minutes of the game,
yes,
having not really practiced all week. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.